start off our weather chat tonight with a live view from Jeffersonville. Oh boy, here come the dark skies. Little bit of a shelf cloud as this line of storms makes its way closer to the Ohio River. And as we say good evening, Carson Meredith with you from the Wave Now Studios. Time now 7:15 on this Sunday night, July 27th. And as expected, most of our thunderstorms on this Sunday have been in southern Indiana. And while they're weakening, they're still packing a little bit of a punch as they get closer to the Ohio River. So we are going to spend our time looking at radar over the next few minutes. Nothing severe, by the way. Nothing severe at all. But a lot of folks are probably still out on this Sunday evening, a summer Sunday night. So we'll look at radar. We'll talk about what to expect through the rest of tonight, and we'll look ahead to the work week as well. So let's just jump right in, shall we? That's the big picture view, and as we talked about last night, as we talked about through our newscast today, the higher storm chances were going to be for our friends in southern Indiana. And so far that has held true. We did expect a few storms today, also right along I-64, which included Louisville. Here in Louisville we had at least I was coming back into work today, in between shifts after my nap, and there was a quick shower that was going right through part of Louisville around 2:30, 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's about all we've had in the city so far, but there were a few downpours that went through Shelby, Henry, and Franklin County earlier today as well. And the big question has been, how far south would the main storms in Indiana today be able to go? Well, we're answering that question right now together, my friends, because it looks like these storms are going to hold on at least just long enough to make it to the Ohio River. We'll go back to that Jeffersonville camera full. You can kind of see that shelf cloud the closer it gets to us. This is from the Harbors building right there on the Ohio River in Jeffersonville. What you're looking at the bottom right-hand corner is Interstate 65. The old Colgate clock is right there as well, and you can see these downpours, really that's all it is, moving on in as we speak. Again, nothing severe, but you know what, you guys like to talk about storms, and that is what we'll talk about here over the next little bit. I'm getting the radar set behind the scenes so we can just jump right in, and I'm waiting to see if we can get any lightning from that camera as well. Not seeing a whole lot, but some darker skies on the horizon. Here's the closer view of these storms that really organized into this little mini cluster, if you will, within the last 1 or 2 hours. And most of the heavy storms today were between Seymour and Indianapolis, and they're just now starting to move in to our area, or they have been over the last hour, and they're continuing to move through. Now, if you look closely, right along I-64, you can see that green line that I'm drawing through. That is an outflow boundary. That is where you're getting some gusts, probably, I'd say 20, 30 miles an hour with that outflow boundary. That means these storms are collapsing. They are weakening as they continue to drift south. But it can still give you a little burst of wind, and if you're caught outside and you don't realize what's about to happen with these storms coming in, it might catch you off guard. So you got the initial outflow wind, and then give it another, I don't know, 5-7 minutes, and then the heavy rain arrives as these storms keep pushing south. Let's put radar into motion. I'll show you where these storms are and where they're heading. Heaviest rain moving out of Jasper. It's right over Ferdinand, right along 64 in Perry County, Indiana. So if you're near Leopold, you're getting that gust of wind now. You're going to see the heavy rain in about 5 minutes. It's pouring in English. It's pouring in Palmyra. Heavy rain out in the Knobs. They're about to move into the Knobs in Floyd County. Borden and Clark County up towards Memphis, Henryville, Sellersburg, Charlestown. You're about to see some of this very heavy rain, briefly at least. And if these storms can hold on just a little while longer as they drift to the south, they could clip the metro. It would specifically be this portion of this cluster of storms that would make it to the city. But I will say, now that this outflow boundary is getting way ahead of the actual storms themselves, these storms are probably going to collapse very, very quickly. So all you might see in Jefferson County is maybe a little shower. It's just how quick these storms can blow up and how quickly they can collapse, right? The heaviest stuff is out in Crawford County, out near English, stretching into Du Bois and Perry County, right there, kind of the western portion of this cluster, is where we're seeing the heaviest rain. The lightning count has dropped big time. It's in the 30s now. It was in the triple digits with the heat index, with the lightning count about 30 minutes ago. So these storms are weakening as they push in. You can see they are moving fairly quickly, around 30 miles an hour or so. But again, they're weakening so fast, I'm just not sure if they're going to make it to Louisville. I think for Louisville, more than anything else, we're maybe just going to have some rain, plain rain. Now, if you're in downtown, if you're near Shively, if you're in West Louisville, you may be able to get some briefly heavy rain before these storms completely fizzle out. But that would be about it from this main show that we're focusing on right now. So that's where we are at this point. Again, this is nowhere close to severe whatsoever, but still giving a lot of you in southern Indiana some much needed rain over the last few hours. Let's jump into the comments and we'll look at other parts of wave country. And fair warning, I might be on just a smidge longer than I normally am tonight since we got an active radar. So to all the naysayers out there that don't like that I'm taking my time on these chats, consider yourself warned. But all the regulars, we're glad you're here. Weather Geek's here. Hello, hello. Kathy says hi. Another Kathy says hello in E-Town. ZK's here. How we doing? Sean, good friend down in Taylorsville. Very hot indeed. It isn't going to get better. No, it is not. Not for at least 3 days. By the end of the week, though, guys, whew, it will feel wonderful by the end of the week. Kathy, it's pouring in Fredericksburg. Yep, no surprise there. The heaviest rain should be moving out of Fredericksburg as we speak, though. So that's good. Still some lighter rain behind the heaviest stuff. So you got the initial heavy rain moving through, let's say, Huntingburg, English, Palmyra up towards Memphis and Charlestown. Behind that, you still got some lighter, steadier rain falling across Orange County, the rest of Washington County up towards Salem, and even up into Bedford and Seymour too. But even then, that lighter stuff's going to weaken here pretty soon as well. I'd say in the next 1 to 2 hours. Let's see here. Ann's here on YouTube. Hello. Gary is present and accounted for in Pewee Valley. Appreciate you watching, Gary. Hope you're well. Angela says hi. Reagan, hello. How we doing? I'm good. I'm good. It's my last shift before my weekend, so all's good. Let's see. Vanessa says hello. JWash34 on Twitch says hi. Appreciate our Twitch streamers. ZK, at least when we started, ZK about 8 minutes ago, where he's at in Jeffersonville, or where he or she is at, ZK, I'm not sure. Sun is shining in Jeffersonville. Let's see. All right, so more comments later. Heavy rain continues in Du Bois County, Perry County, Crawford County, stretching into Harrison, Floyd, and Clark County as well. But it's weakening really quickly. So Brandenburg, Shepherdsville, if you guys south of Louisville are hoping for this heavy rain, it's going to be a close call. It's just so hard to gauge how quickly the heavy storms this time of year will actually hold on. It's hard to figure out how long they'll hold together, and it's hard to figure out when they will collapse. The trend all day has been to collapse these storms once they get to 64, and that's what's happening. If we're going to see more heavy rain into Kentucky, I think the worst of the heavy rain would be in Breckinridge County. So you guys down, excuse me, down near Hardinsburg, you might get some of that heavier rain that's moving through Perry County right now. But for most of you, like down towards Brandenburg, Shepherdsville, it would likely just be some steadier rain. Okay, I got you, ZK. Good. Now I know. See, you guys have these different handles or whatever on your platforms, and I can never tell if I'm talking to a guy or a gal. But anyway, cool, ZK. Appreciate you. Every night, appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. Nikki says hello. Looking ominous in Clarksville. Yeah, it most definitely is. But these are more than anything else just scary-looking clouds. Nothing severe. Main issue is going to be heavy rain and still a little bit of lightning. Still a little bit of lightning. So if you do know anybody that's outside tonight, especially if they live along the Ohio River, especially if they live in southern Indiana, I might want to just shoot them a text. Say, hey, got some heavy rain coming in. Might want to head inside. Shonda's here. Saw that small shelf cloud we were talking about earlier. It's kind of become less defined here in the last few minutes. Let's see. Kathy up in Trimble County got a quick little shower. Yeah, the heaviest stuff, at least what we're looking at here, Kathy, is not going to really impact Trimble County. So that shower you just had, that might be it for you this evening. Again, I really think by, I'd say 9, maybe 10 o'clock tonight, this heavy rain is basically gone, and all we're left with are just some isolated hit and miss showers through the night. And even then, a lot of you will stay dry. Oh, I appreciate it, Sean, and I know Brian does too. But there's some, what was it, last weekend we were babysitting radar as those stronger storms were coming in, and they're like, you're taking too long. They're not here regularly like you guys are, right? All right. So, Austin, how about this week? Any other severe weather risks? There may be a small risk on Wednesday, and I'm going to dive deeper into that here in a few minutes. Let's look at the rest of wave country, and then we'll start talking about the work week. We've had a couple of downpours develop in our far southern counties. You see some of those down near Glasgow, Kentucky, which isn't in wave country, but I know some of you do stream us down in Glasgow. Those may sneak into Greene and Taylor County and Adair County too in the next few minutes, so we'll watch that. But all in all, the forecast has panned out pretty much how we expected, with the higher storm coverage in Indiana and very, very spotty downpours across Kentucky. And along the Ohio River, it could go either way, and it looks like it's leading more towards at least some showers along the Ohio River here in the next hour or two. So that's where we stand with that. There's another view of Jeffersonville from our SkyTrack camera. Rain's not falling yet, and that kind of tells you how quickly these storms are weakening as they move in. It looked like a slam dunk that we'd see rain at Jeffersonville by now, and that hasn't happened. There'll be some light rain, probably not a ton though. Let's break down the numbers today. I don't usually show the highs and lows for the day, but kind of segues into our chat about just how daggone hot it's been this summer. 93 was our high today in Louisville. Our average is 89. That's not unheard of, right? It's late July. Of course we're going to have highs in the 90s. But what's making this summer a lot warmer than most summers we've ever seen around here are these warm nights. Now, I could sit here for 2 hours, probably longer, talking about the heat island effect at the airport and how that always messes up or adds a couple degrees to the temperatures compared to the rest of wave country. We all know that. But as a result, we keep having these morning lows that don't get out of the 80s. Both yesterday morning and this morning, our low temperature for the day was 80 degrees in Louisville, which goes down as a record for the warmest morning that we've seen the last two mornings, July 26th and July 27th. And that's what's really kind of making the records so high for us this summer, as you'll see here in just a second. As far as what the heat index is right now, we're still baking in Kentucky, where we haven't seen as much rain. 98's that heat index in E-Town, 98 in Litchfield, 99 in Louisville, 101 in Corydon. Of course, Corydon now getting that outflow with those storms moving through, so that heat index should be dropping a bit. But, you know, we're going to be dealing with this for 3 more days, I'm afraid. Here's tonight's forecast. You guys already know, but I'll show it anyway. The storms that are with us now will linger through about 9 or 10 o'clock, and then in general we should see things calm down past 9 or 10 o'clock. 79, our forecast low. I'm being optimistic again. I do think there is a real possibility Louisville stays at 80 overnight tonight. We'll just wait and see. Today was day number 30 in the 90s, as you might have seen on our Wave Weather social media pages earlier. In 2024, we had 59 days in the 90s. So, quite honestly, we're on a very similar pace to what we did have last year. Somebody was asking, I can't remember who it was on social media earlier, what's the record? That would have been back in 2010. That wasn't a, well, it was a hot summer, but it was more like constant low to mid 90s, which quite honestly is similar to what we've had lately, right? As we go through the next 3 days, we're going to tack on 3 more days with highs in the 90s. 94 tomorrow with the heat index of 106. So the last few days we talked about that heat index around 105, or at least up to 105. Over the next few days, we're going to see that heat index go above 105. For tomorrow, I think we could see that heat index peak around 106. The worst of the heat looks to be on Tuesday, mainly because it does not look like we'll see many, if any, downpours. Obviously, if you get downpours, that can drop your temperatures or at least keep them from surging any higher. But if you don't have any, you're going to warm up big time. So 97 Tuesday, that heat index Tuesday could get as high as 108. There is a possibility we have to bump up that heat index forecast towards 110. If we do, that gets into danger territory, and that means Tuesday could get flagged as an alert day. We'll wait and see. We're not there yet, but it's close. Wednesday, high of 96, heat index 106. This has been very consistent, guys, for several days now, that the most intense heat, at least with this heat wave, would be Monday through Wednesday. Now, when you look at the record books, we mentioned the summer of 2010, record for highs in the 90s, record for the warmest summer we've ever seen in Louisville. These averages, by the way, that you're looking at, they factor in the highs for each day, the lows for each day, and every temperature in between. And so far, the summer of 2025, meteorological summer, so June 1st until now, so far, this is the second warmest summer on record in Louisville, with an average temperature of 81 degrees even. That's significant. And you look at the top 10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them have occurred in the 21st century, which is an interesting trend. You look at last summer, 2024 was the 9th warmest summer ever. So, yeah, we've had a lot of hot summers in the last 25 years, and this one could get close to a record, but we will see that number get knocked down a little bit by the end of the week. We'll have an update on that relief here in a moment. Let's talk about tomorrow. It's going to be hot and humid. We know that, right? I'm not going to waste time talking about it anymore. But there's going to be a couple of different factors in play tomorrow when it comes to storm chances. Mainly, what boundaries are left in the atmosphere from today and tonight. So once these storms that we were showing you earlier go away, they're going to leave a boundary behind in the atmosphere. And a lot of times this time of year, those boundaries, they go to sleep in the middle of the night like we do. But when they wake up, when we start to heat up, they get grumpy and they set off thunderstorms. And models don't always do a good job of pinpointing where those boundaries are and when they'll set off those storms. So with those storms that we're tracking tonight, now solidly in wave country, we know that boundary is going to be in our area. Where exactly, hard to say, but wherever that boundary is, we'll likely have some scattered storms fire up tomorrow afternoon once we reach that convective temperature, which is the temperature where storms start to fire up without any other big picture influences in the atmosphere. So this is 4 o'clock Monday afternoon. And sure enough, like clockwork, you've got some downpours firing up. And quite honestly, I think this forecast model is doing a nice job highlighting where that boundary is going to set up. You saw those storms weakening right along the Ohio River, right about there. And that's where most of the boundaries, or excuse me, where most of the scattered storms, at least according to Futurecast, are going to fire up tomorrow afternoon. So we have bumped up the storm chance to 30% again for Monday, kind of like today. No severe weather expected, just heavy rain and lightning that we'll watch. We will also have to watch this one. This map, I should say, doesn't, it's hard to illustrate on a map, but there's a big cluster of storms that's getting its act together tonight way up north in the Dakotas and Minnesota. That storm cluster is not going to make it here, but those storm clusters a lot of times like to send off cloud debris further downstream. And some of that cloud debris could move into our area early tomorrow morning. And what happens is you heat up during the day, the cloudy area is cooler, the sunny area is hotter, and you get a heating boundary that lines up. Storms like to fire up along heating boundaries too. That's kind of harder to pick out where those heating boundaries might set up, but if we have something like that tomorrow, that too could set off more scattered showers and storms. So a couple of different features that we'll have to keep an eye on Monday. You see as we go through the evening tomorrow, those scattered storms continue. If you're down in southern Kentucky, I think you got a better shot to see storms tomorrow than you do today. Equal opportunity storm chances, I suppose. And as we get past sunset, you know the drill. We lose that hottest, most intense heat of the day, and we quiet things down. So, long story short, more scattered storms tomorrow, heavy rain and lightning again. Mainly in Kentucky this go round for Monday. Late week, we're still on track, guys, for this cold front. We are still on track. I don't believe cold fronts this time of year, to be honest with you. A lot of times the models get too excited about cold fronts. But this one looks like it's going to move through, thankfully. It's going to give us a stormy Thursday and a stormy Wednesday, too, potentially. Wednesday evening into Thursday looks to be the wettest time period over the next 10 days. Thursday, we'll have to watch for heavy rain, but as that front moves through, that cooler air is still on track. Yes, this map is similar to what I had last night because there's no reason to change it. The forecast hasn't changed much. This is what the humidity is going to look like late week. The sticky meter. You know, we show you guys that all the time, what it feels like right now. Same thing, but it's looking ahead to the future, all right? So this is Thursday night. You can see the sticky meter is in the miserable territory still in red because the front will not be completely through our area Thursday night. By Friday, though, okay, the reds are gone. We're seeing the yellows on Friday. That means it's still a little muggy, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Not a bad way to start August on Friday. And then by Saturday, there we go. Saturday's going to be great, guys. Make plans. Make plans. It is not all that common to see this comfortable humidity this time of year. So take advantage of it, especially Saturday. As we get into Sunday, there are models suggesting that humidity tries to inch back up just a little bit. It'll still feel pretty comfortable, but you might notice the humidity a little more on Sunday. And we may have 1 or 2 showers as a result. Not heavy stuff, just a couple of showers. That would be it on Sunday. I'm not too worried about it, but I think between the 2 days next weekend, Saturday, no doubt about it, as it stands, is the pick. It is going to feel great. Highs in the mid-80s, like 85, 86 at the hottest. And there will be virtually any humidity if the forecast stays where it is now. Sunday would be a little more humid, maybe a couple showers, but still not too bad. So thought you guys might like our sticky meter futurecast, really showing that refreshing feel that we're going to have by the weekend. Here it is on the 10-day. 94 tomorrow, 97 Tuesday, 96 Wednesday. If I could just like scratch out those 3 days, I would, but I can't. Thursday is going to be stormy. I got it as a 40% chance right now. I have a very strong feeling that will get increased as we get more confident in the timing of those storms on Thursday. So just plan on a wet Thursday at times. But once that front moves through, guys, man, it's going to be awesome. I don't want to say it's going to be a fall preview because we'll still be in the mid-80s, but it'll feel pretty nice for early August. 84 Friday. I got 85 Saturday and Sunday. Saturday would be the most comfortable day, although Friday and Sunday won't be all that bad either. And then you notice we head into next week, we slowly but surely heat things back up. And we'll get more humid again too, because it's August, right? Or it will be. I think as we get towards the middle part of the following week, it's like August 6th, 7th, 8th, we'll get back into the low 90s, and it looks to be a little more unsettled as well, potentially, by then. So next weekend, make plans. Make plans. Stay tuned to the forecast, but right now, if this trend holds, the first weekend of August is going to be unbelievably awesome. Still a little warm, but it will not be all that humid, and that's all you can ask for this time of year. So, looking forward to it. And quite honestly, I'm looking forward to not having to talk about storms next weekend. I probably just jinxed myself, but man, that would be really nice. All right, back to the comments. I'll check radar one more time, and then we'll wrap this up. Let's see. A lot of you guys asking, are we going to get rain? Are we going to get rain? We'll check radar here in just a second, I promise, okay? Let's see. Appreciate the 450 of you watching on our social platforms. That's why I'm taking my time to read through our comments here. Sarah, let's see, need a good heavy rain, get the ground good and wet, the yard's starting to crack. Yeah. It's interesting because some yards are starting to crack or get really dry, but there's some that are green and lush and looking good. It's very, very hot and cold, depending on, I guess, how much rain you've seen so far this summer, right? Jay says, hey, from Iroquois Park, hope all's well. Austin, no severe weather this week other than gusty winds. I think if we have any severe weather concern, it would be Wednesday, and it would be if we get those storm clusters to blitz through here with wind. Models are going back and forth on that. I'm not too sold on it, but that would be something we have to keep an eye on for Wednesday for a gusty wind potential. Right now, I think that threat's a little higher to the north of us. Thursday storms, the main issue is going to be heavy rain more than anything. Let's see. Sonia, I like your tie. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's an oldie but a goodie. I've had this one probably since I was in high school, and it still works. Let's see. Edward's watching us from St. Louis, ready for the heat to be done. Yeah, you guys are dealing with much worse heat than us. Further to the west, those heat index numbers maybe get closer to 115 the next few days. Don't expect anything like that, but man. Air you can wear. Yes, indeed, Shonda. Indeed. No more summer, says Brandon. Where's the fall weather? No kidding. Like I said, I don't think next weekend is going to be a fall preview because we're not looking at, the 70s for highs or anything like that, but it's going to feel very refreshing, no doubt about it, next weekend. All right. Sean, I'm a Cardinal fan, but give me the blue on that humidity map, right? Yeah, blue on the humidity map is a good thing. Blue on the sticky meter is a good thing. That means it's not sticky outside, right? Kelly, any of that Wednesday, Thursday stuff looking severe? Yeah, we talked about it. We're going to watch Wednesday for maybe a gusty wind potential. Doesn't look major for now. Thursday, just heavy rain, primarily. Ian on YouTube, can I open the windows next Saturday? It'll be a little warm to open the windows on Saturday. I think at the overnight hours, though, you might be able to. Lows in the 60s, not all that bad. Feeling pretty comfortable. It's going to be nice, guys. You can definitely roll the windows down as you're driving around. That's for sure. No doubt about that. Adam, a meteorologist in Illinois, had the red category in the humidity map disgusting. It's true. Miserable, disgusting. Yeah. Red on a humidity map is bad. Red is bad. Blue is good. ZK, any more weather alerts? No, not tonight. No, we're in good shape tonight. Let me go back to radar. I'll show that to you before we wrap up here. These storms continue to weaken as they push south, or try to. Oh yeah, it's largely just rain now, guys. No surprise, that's kind of it. We always were thinking that these storms today would weaken as soon as they got across 64, and it's exactly what's happening. So we'll zoom in on where the more steady stuff is in Indiana. See what I'm talking about? In Clark County, Floyd County, not a lot. And as the outflow boundary right here keeps racing ahead of the storms, all of this stuff is going to keep on weakening. But even so, we got a heavy downpour right there on the Jefferson-Oldham County line that just flared up. It's off of Westport Road, LaGrange Road up towards Pee Wee Valley. So, the chance is still there, guys, if you live in Louisville, for at least some showers, maybe one heavy downpour through about 10 o'clock. So keep the umbrella handy for the next couple hours if you're out and about, but I don't think we have to worry too much longer about heavy stuff because it's weakening fairly quickly, as you can see. Right now, the heaviest storms, still some lightning, not a ton. Heaviest stuff is going into Corydon, out towards Marengo, Indiana, and over Leopold, Indiana. And that will try to move into Brandenburg and Hardinsburg in the next half hour to 45 minutes. We'll wait and see. But I think for Louisville, a lot of the heavy stuff will not impact us. Just some showers more than anything. But no severe weather tonight. Gary, break out the parkas late this week. Hey, to each their own. Celebrate however you can, right? Reagan, baby sister says, you demand. Have a great week. Thank you. Thank you to your sister, Reagan. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good week, too. Missed the heat index for the next 3 days. Our son has football practice, and they've been canceling. I would not be surprised if they cancel it more. So the next 3 days, that heat index is going to be between 106 and 108. It's going to be a smidge higher than what it's been the last few days. It's going to be the worst part of this particular heat wave. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So 106 to 108. I would not be surprised if football practice keeps getting called off, unfortunately. All right. ZK, thank you for your time and informing us. Of course, it's what we're here for. That's our job, right? We enjoy it. And Adam, this Hoosier fan loving the blue humidity map. Yeah, that's something we can all agree upon. Doesn't matter what you bleed. If you bleed blue, if you bleed red, if you bleed Hoosier red, we can all agree that we want blue on a humidity map. And that is what we have, especially on Saturday. Saturday. Make plans. Make plans. Because if that forecast holds, it's going to be a great day to get outside. All in all, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday looks pretty good. But until then, we're stuck with the heat for 3 more days, and we're stuck with the storms as well. So make sure you're still taking it easy outside. Keep the Wave Weather app handy so as these storms flare up on each day, you know when it's time to head inside. And we'll get to that nice little break by the end of the week. All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Appreciate you tuning in. Keep the umbrella handy if you're out and about this evening. These storms should be fading in the next 2 hours, and then it'll be quiet the rest of the night. Brian is on Sunrise tomorrow morning. Tawana taking some time off. She will be back on Tuesday. So for tomorrow morning, Brian will be up dark and early at 4:30 on Wave News Sunrise. He'll do his normal Storm Talk blog, I would imagine, around the normal time tomorrow morning, but he'll be making a special appearance on the early morning show tomorrow. I'll be on Wave News tonight at 11. If you're still up, we hope you'll tune in then. And if not, sleep well, have a great week, and I will talk to you guys again on Friday. Thanks for watching. Take care. Talk soon.